So I got myself into a bit of a pickle. I landed my little self in the middle of 4 books at the moment. Let me explain. In about October or November, my sister-in-law and I decided that we were going to reread Harry Potter with the intention that we would have it reread by the end of the year. This did not happen. Instead, we have been both slowly working our way through the series, landing us both currently at the 5th book, The Order of the Phoenix. So I have been slowly working my way through The Order of the Phoenix for about a month. Context. Then last month, I finished a few big books. The last book I read in February was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And so I needed something light, something fun, something I had read before, that I knew I loved, that I could just get back into a fun little world and, you know, have a good time. So I started Funny Story by Emily Henry. Okay. Then I realized I am in the middle of a sci-fi series that I'm going to forget all of the characters and the world building and the context of everything that's going on if I do not continue said sci-fi series. And so I picked up The Fractured Dark, the 2nd book in my sci-fi series, okay? And then I go on vacation, right? I go on a little weekend trip with my husband and we head to Florida, and I go, you know, the thing I really need for vacation is a book to read on my Kindle so that I can read on the beach and comfortably as we travel. So I pick up a literary fiction on my Kindle entitled I Hope This Finds You Well. This is really, this is mood reading at its finest. I have always said that I am a mood reader. I have never tried to hide that fact. Right now, I have dug myself a little ditch. Because of my mood reading tendencies, I am now in the middle of 4 very different books that I very much need to finish. This video will end with, or when I finish these 4 books that I am in the middle of. I am 58% of the way through I Hope This Finds You Well, which is the literary fiction that I picked up on my weekend trip. I am 26% of the way into Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I am 50 pages into Funny Story, and I am 103 pages to The Fractured Dark. The thing about The Fractured Dark and I Hope This Finds You Well is that I brought both of them on vacation. I was reading The Fractured Dark and I Hope This Finds You Well kind of at the same time, just kind of depending on what I was in the mood for, because they're very different. And sometimes I just don't really want to hold this thing, if we're being real. All of that to say, we're doing a reading vlog. I am going to be reading and finishing all 4 of these books. My hope is to get them done in a timely manner. We shall see. I'm going to be giving an overview of all 4 of these books, and I will also give my thoughts and ratings and reviews throughout and at the end. Everything will be absolutely spoiler free. I am going to get comfortable and I am going to sit down and probably pick up I Hope This Finds You Well because I'm so far into it. I think my Kindle said I only have like under 3 hours left, so I honestly might try and finish that one tonight. It's only 8:45, so if I pick that up tonight, I might be able to finish that this evening. Grab a drink, grab a comfy seat. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna get to reading. Okay, so I have about an hour left of reading time and I hope this finds you well. It's been a few days at this point. I've been working. I feel like I've been so busy this week, but I have been trying to pick it up in the evenings and like when I have a few minutes, but it has been really hard to find the time to pick it up. But today is Friday. I'm done working. It's a little before 4 o'clock, so I do have quite a bit of the afternoon left. And I'm hoping to really just sit down with my book, finish it, and hopefully continue reading one of the next books on my list. I'm thinking I will either go into A Funny Story or The Fractured Dark. I could kind of go either way on that one. We'll see how I'm feeling after I finish this one, but I'm really liking. I hope this finds you well. I'm starting to like really connect with the characters in it, which is a really important aspect for me. I'm gonna finish I Hope This Finds You Well today, and I will hopefully keep reading a little bit of one of my other current reads. I don't have a ton of plans for this weekend, but I am working for a few hours tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, and I have plans tomorrow afternoon, so I have a little bit of a busier day tomorrow, but like I said, I'm free the rest of the day, and then hopefully I'll get some more time on Sunday as well to read a little bit more. I'm hoping to at least finish I Hope This Finds You Well. That one I'll finish today, and then I'm hoping to at least either finish or make like good progress on one of my other current reads this weekend, so that going into next week I like have a lot more read. I will keep you guys updated as we go, and then I will update you when I finish I Hope This Finds You Well. Let's go finish this book. Welcome to my bathroom. I am getting ready to go meet my sister-in-law for coffee, and so I thought that we could chat about I Hope This Finds You Well. I just finished it yesterday afternoon. I finished and I'm still kind of trying to mull over what I want to rate it. The plot what am I trying to say? It was a pretty mundane plot, but that was also kind of the point. So to give you a little bit more context about the book, following a main character, she works a corporate job. She is just very unhappy. She lives a very lonely life. She doesn't really connect well with her coworkers, and she kind of is like looking for purpose in her life. So it's very much like a literary fiction type of book. There's not really a lot more to it than just kind of following this woman and her story and her workplace. So there is a piece of it that happens towards the beginning that kind of sets us up for an interesting dynamic between her and the people around her. She ends up with access that she is not supposed to have, and being able to see things and get information that in her current position she should not be able to see. So it kind of gives her a leg up in the workplace, and it's kind of this battle of, am I going to use this really to my advantage, and at what point does it become morally wrong? Is it morally wrong at any point, or is it okay that I'm doing this because I didn't ask to be in this situation, I just landed here? So there's a lot of inner morality questions, which I think is really fascinating to follow. But a lot of this is about really just the people around you and how you live your life, and whether or not you are wasting away in a position that is not giving you life and is not really serving you. And if you are doing so, how are you being intentional with the people around you, and how are you creating a better circumstance out of where you're at, and are you? So it's a lot of big existential questions I feel are kind of tackled in this book. It's pretty slow moving. The plot and the pacing is just not what carries the story. It's very character driven, and the character is an imperfect main character. She is morally gray. She is not always making good choices, and you're kind of like rooting for her to be a better human, but also having to kind of follow her through this journey of how to do that. So ultimately, I think that this was a good book if you're a fan of literary fiction that talks about real life and paints a picture of someone's like actual life. Then I would recommend this. Some of the things that do happen that create a lot of the drama are not realistic at all. I am glad I read it. There were parts of it that did put me in like a weird mindset, because I have been dealing with my own like personal stuff around work and just like what I'm doing with my life and what I'm doing in my job. And the main character is kind of dealing with the same thing. So there was a lot of it that I think I liked because I could relate in some ways, but some of it too that like put me in almost like a more negative space because I was in this character's like negative headspace, if that makes sense. There's a lot of words, but I think I'm gonna give this a solid like 3.5 stars. There is a romance subplot, but it is very minor. So if you're looking for a romance, this is not your book to pick up. But I did enjoy it as a commentary on life and what it means to be human, honestly. I am, I don't know, 100-ish pages into Funny Story and also into The Fractured Dark. I am still in the same spot in Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix as well. However, I did download the audio of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. If you guys have a library card and you're not using Hoopla, you need to be because it's so good. So I have the audiobook of that and I'm hoping to get to that get moving through that pretty quickly. I have a bit of a drive to get to the spot I'm meeting my sister-in-law for coffee, so hopefully I can get a little bit of that listened to at that point, and then also hoping to get some chores done this weekend as well. And I really like to listen to audiobooks while I do chores, so I will probably do that this weekend. I may just be sticking with Funny Story for a little while because I think I could just use some more lighthearted, fun humor, stuff I've read already so that I don't have to think too hard. I have been loving this way of curling my hair though, because it's like more chill than big curls, but it gives my hair some like texture. Otherwise it's like so flat. Anyway, I don't think I have much more to say. Also, recent development, completely unrelated to anything, but I've realized that my memory lately has gotten so bad. I have no idea why, but I will be like talking to like my family and they'll be like, yeah, like, don't you remember we did this? And it was like not that long ago. And then not like massive events, but like, oh yeah, you remember we did that thing. I'll be like, no, actually I hadn't, like, I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Like my husband and I went on a trip to Austin literally last month for my birthday, and he was talking about something that we did and I was like, I actually don't remember that at all. Like I have no idea what happened to that memory, but it is completely gone from my brain. My theory is that I am thinking about so much all the time because I have kind of a like administrative type job, and so my theory is that because I'm like dealing with so much like information processing in my brain every day, I am just like not holding on to anything anymore. It's just like coming into my brain when I need it for the time that I need it for, and then immediately just leaving my brain. There was no purpose to me saying any of that except that I just want to tee up. So anyway, my sister-in-law just texted me that she's on her way, so I should probably go. Hopefully we can get some more reading done this weekend, but we'll see what happens. Oh my gosh. I'm actually now really tired. It's like 7 o'clock. I don't know if I'm like slumping. Kind of feel like I'm slumping. Maybe some dog park time with my dog will help me get motivated to read, but I actually love this book so much. This little interaction, just to give you a taste of what their relationship is like. The male main character works at a winery and the female main character works at a library. And the female main character is going out with a friend from the library, and she's trying to avoid this other place that her friend wanted to go, and so she suggests, kind of on a whim, the winery that the male main character works at. And so this is a little interaction between the two of them. It says, "A coworker and I are going to stop by Cherry Hill tonight. I tell Miles from the doorway as he's brushing his teeth in our tiny pink tiled bathroom. He meets my eyes in the mirror, toothpaste foam spilling out of his mouth. Why did you say it like that?" he asks. "Like what?" Menacingly, he spits into the sink and knocks the faucet on. "Like, me and my friend are gonna pay you a little visit, and we might have a baseball bat with us." "Because me and my friend are going to pay you a visit," I say, "and we might have a baseball bat with us." They're just so funny. I love them so much. The two of them are roommates because of some very sad circumstances, so they have just like the funniest banter, and I love them so much. I think any thoughts of slumping, absolutely gone. Cured by Miss Emily Henry. Hello and good morning. I thought I would give a quick reading update. Funny Story is a reread for me. Really just became obsessed with Emily Henry over the last like 2 years or so, and was just really craving the high of reading one of her books. This book is about our main characters, Daphne and Miles, both of whom just went through a pretty traumatic breakup from long-term relationships. The irony is that the people that broke up with both of them broke up with them to get together. It is overall just a really fun, cute read. I love Emily Henry's writing so much. There's just something about it that just like cures everything for me. When I was a teenager, I read a lot of John Green, and I feel like Emily Henry just cures the longing for John Green but make it adult. I think it's probably a combination of the humor, the relationships, the depth of character. I really love character depth in a book, and I feel like Emily Henry does character depth so well. She does write some spice in her books, but it is very skippable, and there's way more to the story than just the spice. If you guys know me as a reader, I skip the spice in the books that I read. And so if a book doesn't have a plot outside of the spice, it's not going to be good to me, and I'm not going to like it. The thing about Emily Henry that I love so much is that there's so much literary fiction that goes into her books as well. Her main characters are so deep and they develop so well, and there's always a greater lesson or a greater thing that they have to discover about themselves or about the world around them. There's really great relationships with side characters written into her books. A lot of her books have great family relationships or friendship relationships that really help shape and mold her main characters, and I just love that so much about her. This was literally the perfect book to pick up as a reread in between books, and with me starting to feel a little slumpy. Reread, just as good, if not better, as the first read through. It has been an embarrassing amount of time since I've updated this vlog, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Funny Story. I did, in fact, finish my reread of Funny Story by Emily Henry, and I'm so happy about it. The first time I read through this book, I did give it 4 stars, but this time around, I felt so much more connected to the story and to the characters in this book. I felt like I truly understood Daphne and Miles and really empathized with their story and what they were going through. It explores a lot of different themes and topics of really just what it means to be human, and I think that that's part of why I really love every Emily Henry book I read, is because it's about more than just a romantic interest. It's truly exploring humanity. And I really just love how these two characters are kind of stumbling their way through how to grieve, how to move forward, how to find their independence after being with someone for so long, and then losing that person, and how they really started to find themselves. It's also really funny, really lighthearted in a lot of spots, so it's not just a heavy, sad, deep thing. It is very, very well paced, well timed. It is humorous. The characters are so lovable. I really don't think I would change anything about this book. I felt so connected to the story, to the characters, and I honestly liked it, I think, more on the reread than I did on my first read through. So I am giving my reread of Funny Story a 4.5 stars. Everyone online talks about that 5-star feeling, and I definitely understand that. Like, you never want to put the book down when you're not reading. You can't stop thinking about it, and it did not give me that. Part of that probably being because I know the story already, but I think also part of it is that I just don't relate quite as much to the characters, and so it didn't make that immense of an impact on me personally. I had a really great time on my reread of that. So happy to have been able to do that right as we're starting to get into summer. I am still reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I've been kind of listening to that when I clean. A little over 75% of the way through that one at this point. The Order of the Phoenix is the longest book in the Harry Potter series. I had to look it up earlier because I was like, oh my gosh, why do I feel like this book is so long? It's because it is. The Order of the Phoenix is 800 pages or so, and it's like 250,000 words. Like, it's kind of insane, actually. And the fact that I read it when I was like 9 years old is crazy. So much in it that I completely forgot about because I haven't read it since probably middle school. So I'm just really loving getting to rediscover some of these things that happen that I just completely forgotten about. I'm also about halfway through The Fractured Dark, and I'll do a little bit more of an update on that soon. My husband's working late tonight, so I'll have a couple hours when I get home. My plan tonight is to just sit and read. That's what I did yesterday, and I loved it so much. I read for like 3 or 4 hours last night after work and got quite a big chunk of The Fractured Dark read last night. I fear this may be a new series obsession because I didn't know that I liked sci-fi until I picked up The Blighted Stars, and now I am thinking about sci-fi. Like, what else can I read that's sci-fi once I finish this trilogy? I really do not want to stop reading this trilogy. I'm loving it so much. So I'm really excited to come home tonight after work and just sit down and read. Already filmed this clip once, but I actually realized that I wasn't filming. I'm done. Good news and bad news here. Good news is that I have finished Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I listened to it on audio, which helped so much in just being able to do it when I didn't actually have time to read. The bad news is I still have a little over 200 pages of The Fractured Dark. And these are not like little YA pages. No. This is adult sci-fi. These margins are small, okay? These words, tiny. So many words. So this is like 200 very serious pages. And it's sci-fi. So I have to actually use my brain, which is really hard. But today's Saturday. It is 7 p.m. I have nothing planned for the rest of the evening. This is my accountability right here. You are my accountability right here. I am going to finish this book, mark my words, this weekend. I had to take a second because my jaw is literally on the floor. What the frick is happening right now? I'm done reading for the moment. I did get another good chunk in. I'm on 375 now, so I read another 25 pages this morning, which is good because I actually didn't spend that much time reading. I was mostly getting ready, and then I hung out with my husband for a little bit before he had to go to work. But I love my church fit today, so I just had to show you. I have this cute little baby doll style dress that is so cute, and then my little platform sandals. So I know it's black, but for some reason it still feels like springy to me. I think it's just the style, but yeah, I'm obsessed with my outfit, so I had to show you. We have finished The Fractured Dark, which means I have finally finished all 4 books that I was reading at the beginning of this video. It honestly took an embarrassing amount of time for me to get through all of these books, but we did it. Honestly, would not have done it if it wasn't for you. I was doing this vlog as accountability for me to get through all these books, and I think I genuinely only got through them at the pace that I did because I was doing this vlog. But I want to talk briefly about The Fractured Dark. So this is the second book in the Devoured Worlds trilogy by Megan O'Keefe. And this absolutely lived up to everything that I was hoping for from The Blighted Stars and more. So many twists, so many turns. If you guys are looking for a good sci-fi trilogy, I've only read 2 out of 3 of the books, but at this point in time, I definitely would recommend it. The Blighted Stars was a lot slower than The Fractured Dark. It took a bit to get into, but The Fractured Dark picked up and started moving immediately. It was very fast-paced, very interesting. The characters are layered and multi-leveled, and they grow and develop in a way that I just love so much. This is an adult series with a little bit of romance, but so far absolutely no spice, which I love. I would say it's really only adult because it's about adults, and also it is a little bit complex because it's sci-fi. So I wouldn't say that, like, I honestly would rate it like 14 or 15 and older, and you're probably fine. Honestly, even younger than that, if you can comprehend it, if you have like the science understanding, or just like the brain power to like be really into sci-fi. If you get it, go for it. I personally would not have understood this when I was 14. I would have been so lost. But that's me. And I know that I do not have a science brain at all. Science was my least favorite subject in high school. So I'm actually really surprised that I enjoyed this book at all. But I have been loving this series. So I'm really excited to continue and read the 3rd book in the series. My final rating for this was, I believe, a 4.5 stars is what I gave it. The only thing that kept me from giving it a 5-star, I think, was just some of the bouncing around got a little bit confusing. We do have multiple POVs in this, and also kind of multiple timelines. So I think really it's just a me problem that it wasn't a 5-star, and it was just that I was getting a little bit confused with the timelines and the points of view at certain points. And there are definitely still a lot of elements of this that I'm still confused about. But I know that we're gonna find out a lot more in book 3, and I'm supposed to be confused right now. So that's definitely not a critique, just more a statement than anything. But that is the only thing that knocked it down half a star, was really just like it being a little bit all over the place with the POVs and multiple timelines. But I think that was the intention, that just affected my personal reading experience. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this book, and I absolutely would recommend this series if you are wanting to get into sci-fi. Thank you so much for joining me on this little adventure as we got through all of the books that I was reading. I have so many more books, as always, on my never-ending TBR, so hopefully we will continue to get to hang out and read books together. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you made it this far, if there are any books on this list that you have read and or enjoyed, or if maybe you got a recommendation from this video, if there are any of these books that you really would like to read. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!